Bathurst sets the scene for round 5 of the TNR Pacific Group 5 Championship, and it really is becoming a bit of a two-way fight for the championship between Grey Dragon and Lee. So Graham in the Porsche, who lines up 8th, and Lee in the Ford Capri lining up 9th. So those guys have got a lot of work to do on this random grid. We've got Andy, he starts right at the back in his Nissan, but the front row is made up of Chrysler in the BMW on the right of your screen as you look at it. The green and gold BMW there. And then we've got the very bold red and yellow Porsche of Martin, who lines up alongside. It'll be interesting to see who gets away quickly here. You've got Dom and Oz on the second row. Oz has started a lot of races very, very quickly. So can he jump into the lead from 4th? It's going to be a frenetic start. He does make a really good start as I predicted, but it's actually Chrysler who gets away really, really well. Chrysler takes the lead. There's contact in the background. I think one of the Porsches went off in the wall. Was it one of the Porsche cars? Andy's up to 5th place in the Nissan. That's a superb start. And Oz is already trying to take the lead away from Chrysler as we head down towards turn 2. You don't know which way to look at the moment because it's battle on. There's 3 BMWs at the front, and I think that was Dom pulled over on Chrysler, almost took himself out, almost took Chrysler out. Thankfully they got out of it. Chrysler gets back up into 2nd place, but that gives Oz a definite advantage as he heads up the hill for the first time. The Porsche of Martin going well. He was on the front row in 2nd, he's now 3rd. He's under pressure from Dom, who is recovering and regrouping after a bit of a lapse of judgment, I think, pulling over the front of Chrysler, although it is difficult to tell. These cars really tricky to drive. And as we go up over the mountain, you can see Andy doing a really fine job in the Nissan this time. Fingers crossed for some decent points this time. He really needs to pull a decent result out of the bag. And we're going to head down the hill now towards the Conrod Straight. I think Oz did he just about avoid the walls there? I think he did. Chrysler gets through neat and tidy, threads it through, but Oz building up a decent lead already. Oz, remember, was actually battling for the championship quite early on, but he's had a couple of technicals and he's had some not so good races as well. And as we head on to the Conrod Straight, well, it's not worth looking at Oz, race leader, because he's built up a big gap already, almost 2 seconds. But further back, I think Martin might be the one to look at as we go down the straight, the Conrod Straight, and you can see he's straight through already. Take a look at that speedo, and that tells you all you need to know. Almost 200 miles an hour out of the Porsche as we go back trackside, and Martin takes back 2nd place that he had off the line. Chrysler maintains 3rd at the moment. I have to say, this is a really, really stunning drive from Chrysler, really impressive. And you can just see Dom defending from Graham in the background. Graham looked to the inside, then thought better of it. Andy goes off into the gravel in the Nissan, unfortunately dropping back down the order. It's Graham who's looking to try and make up positions. Remember, he was quite far back on the grid, I think 9th. And that is Chrysler off. Oh, after such a great start to the race, he's, I think, come off on his own, and he's dropping down the order. He's dropping down towards the back. Lee's not making huge progress, but he is up to 5th place, so he's keeping in touch with his championship rival Graham for the time being. And you can see Lee and Mark there in the 2 Fords, the bendable Fords. Not the quickest in a straight line, not the most powerful car, so they are likely to struggle here to compete with the other guys. But Lee is not too far behind Graham, is he? And Graham, again, is on the attack. He's trying to get past Dom as they go up and over the hill. Dom will be desperate to get another podium finish. He's had a few already this season, and he's had some really good races actually. He's had a total of... Oh, he's gone straight to the back of Dom though! Oh, no, big accident on the hill. There'll be no safety car though, because the rules are safety car on lap 1 only. And Graham goes up in the air, comes back down, and he's right towards the back. Well, the championship pendulum swings once more, because now you've got Lee up to 3rd place, well ahead of his championship rival, and Mark goes off in the background, spins into the wall, and he's round. Can he get it back together? This is so tricky. Oh, there's almost contact, and there's contact. Sam goes through. There's just nowhere to turn around on this hilly section. He's not going to hold it, and it's the same thing that happened to myself last time I raced with these guys at Bathurst. There's nowhere to go when you're stuck on the hill, and nobody wants to stop for you. So, out in front, Oz actually under serious pressure from Martin. I was not expecting that. Martin is trying for this. and I think he's got a real opportunity of scoring his first victory of the season. Martin in the Momo Porsche. This is really, really excellent stuff, and we've been looking forward to a good battle in this one. I thought Oz was going to get away with it. He drove so well off the line, but Martin's gone straight to the back of him. He makes a big mistake. Oz continues, thankfully, and Martin really slap on the wrist there, but he's slapped himself. He's stopped the car. I think he would have given the place back anyway had Oz come off the track, but that's lost Martin some crucial time that he could have been chasing down. He could have taken that race lead. I don't think he was going for the move there, but it happened nonetheless. Further back, Graham trying to make up places once more, battling with Sam. Porsche up the inside, over 190 mile an hour again. Puff of smoke as he hits the brakes and bottoms out the car. And going up the hill again, you can just see the lift on the front of the Porsche is quite soft as he comes off the power and onto the brakes. You see the front of the car dip in. The BMW is probably a bit stiffer set up. You can see there's not so much lift. So much lift on the front of that Porsche. Now Martin is catching back up with Oz once more. The Porsche is on the tail of the BMW. This is the trickier section though for the Porsche in particular. I mean, not to take anything away from Oz, the BMW is still not an easy car to drive, but it does handle well. The Porsche tends to burn its tyres out, but Martin looking really dominant through that section, and really it's the straight that he's got his best opportunity on. They're coming down towards the Conrod straight now, gets on the power nice and early. We will go and take a quick look at Oz from track side, and as we go up and over the hill, he's going to be doing 174 over the top, and we're looking at sort of 10-15 mile an hour faster out the Porsche. He's trying to put him back under pressure. Lee in the background trying to stay with them. He's not out of sight of this race victory, but I think Martin should have this in the bag if he can just keep it together and pull a nice, solid, clean move. But that is the tricky thing. Now, the place to do it would probably be after these two corners. So across the start-finish straight we go. He needs to get a really gentle run into the first corner and a really good run out. And then as we go up over hilltop, the power of the Porsche should bring him through. That was a really good run. Oz looked like he struggled a little bit there. I know Oz tends to set his cars up quite quick in a straight line though, so the BMW will be maxed out for the best possible straight line. But is it going to be enough? I think he might just hold on to it this time. Martin looks to the outside, can't quite do it. They're both hard on the brakes and they both get through together. Now I think that is it for this lap. There is probably not another opportunity until we get to the Conrod straight. So things will calm down just for a moment, just for the next minute or so, and then we'll get to the Conrod straight, and then I think we battle on once more as we head down the hill, up over the rise, and we'll see what happens. Sam, meanwhile, battling with Chrysler, the two BMW guys. Sam trying to get on the power, loses the back end. No damage on for these races, so thankfully no damage inflicted. I can tell you Graham has managed to get back up to fourth, but it's a really distant fourth, so Lee is going to make a point or two back on Graham in the championship stakes, but that's all it'll be because Graham has recovered really well. And as we come on to the Conrod straight this time, look how much closer Lee's getting. I think the tyres are going off on the Porsche. Oz just doesn't seem to have the lap pace of Martin, but he is holding Martin off for the time being, and it actually could be a three-way battle now as we head down the hill again. Hold on the brakes, but it's the straight where the Ford loses out so much, and already a 2-second advantage between Oz in first and Lee in third. Such is the power deficit of the Ford, and Martin's going for it again. We go into the final turn, we've got one more lap left to go. Oz goes very, very gently, very defensive. Is there going to be a manoeuvre coming on? I don't think it's going to happen this time. Martin needs to just be really gentle on the brakes. He doesn't need to go anything silly here. He bounces over the curb. God, that's so dangerous in these cars because they are really on a knife edge, and it's so easy to spin them out when you get a bit of bumping going. But I think Martin set himself up as best possible, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it this time because Oz seems to have so much straight line speed out of the BMW. He seems to have maximised it for all it's got. It's not as quick as the Porsche, but he has got just enough in hand. I think that's what's making him quite slow over through the twisty stuff, though, is that he has got low downforce, is my suspicion. He's certainly got a lot more top end than I've seen out of the other BMW guys, and I've seen that at several other tracks so far. I think Oz just set up for a lot of straight line, because it's of course easy to overtake if you've got straight line. There's more contact with the wall though. Oz is clinging on for dear life on this final lap. Lee's dropped quite a way back, so I think it is going to be out of these two boys. If they can hold it together, Oz goes through the gravel into the wall, and Martin inherits the lead. It's a great chance for Martin to take his first victory of the season, but we've still got half a lap left to run. Oz is going to be desperate to try and get that one back, but for me, all it's got, oh, and there we go again. I think he's really losing that BMW now. I think for me, if Martin can just get into this corner down the Conrod straight, he should have this because of the straight line speed that Porsche has. And actually today I was not expecting to have such good racing, but these guys have really put on quite a performance and a show for this race 1 victory. We've had lots of drama and action throughout. We've seen Graham's car up in the air and he's recovered brilliantly to 4th. Lee, his championship rival, his only really championship rival at this stage, will finish ahead of him in 3rd place. But it is the race leaders we're watching. Martin, you've got to hold it together, mate. There's just one corner left to run, and he's almost thrown it away. Oz comes to the outside, but Oz is going to go into him. Is he? No, there's no contact. I don't think there's contact. Martin's off. Oz wins on track at least. Martin off in the wall at the last corner, and Lee finishes 2nd, Graham 3rd, and Martin down in 4th place. Well, it's difficult to say. I don't know if there was contact or not. Oz had definitely lost his car quite badly. And if so, he's cost Martin the race victory, but it was difficult to say. It didn't look like there was contact. It looked like Martin overcooked it. Only these boys will be able to tell us, and we can calm down for a moment. I think Oz does a stream from on board his car, so we'll be able to see, I think, fairly clearly whether there was contact, and that will be a dramatic end either way, contact or no contact. But as it is on the road, Oz does take victory after leading for the majority of the race, ahead of Lee and Graham, the championship protagonists. These three that have finished in the top 3 are actually the top 3 in the championship as well. But Oz quite a way back, really, because of those couple of technical issues that he had at Rapuna Park. That certainly put quite a dent in his championship hopes. Chrysler gets 5th place. That's worth mentioning, because Chrysler, his best result of the season so far was 7th place. So a fantastic end to Chrysler's race. It was very topsy-turvy for everybody. Sam and Dom getting fairly middle of the road results, but not a bad result for Sam, actually 6th place. Sam so far is out of 5th place, so one of his better results. Andy gets 8th there in the Nissan. Doug's 9th, and Mark unfortunately rounds out the finishes in 10th.